Hi, my name is Dan Hauptman. I'm one of your instructional coaches in the Palmdale School District. And we're going to take a look at how you can use Canva as a whiteboard, or like what we say in the tech industry, a glorified whiteboard. So as you can see, I'm already in ClassLink, and I have all my icons and folders, and that's for another video on how to do that. But I keep my Canva in the other, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Canva. And that brings me right in. Now I want to create a whiteboard. So I'm going to pick on this whiteboard button right here. And that's going to take me to this whiteboard that's nice and clean. I got nothing on it. What I like about using the Canva whiteboard is that it saves automatically. So with Smart Notebook or with the Promethean and Active Inspire, you need to save as you go or save at the very end. With Canva, it's sort of like Google. It just saves as you go, and you can do whatever you want to with it. You could share and give your students a link to the whiteboard so that they can see what you're doing on their Chromebooks, and not necessarily have to be up on the Promethean if you wanted to, like on your iPad. And we're going to take a look at the iPad here in a little bit. But there's a lot of different ways that you can have your students interact with you. You can even give them a link to be able to do some work on the whiteboard. And again, that's up to you. But we're going to look at it just to how simply is to use it as a whiteboard. So as you can see, I'm already in. I'm going to go ahead and give this a title, just so that way I know exactly what this whiteboard is for. And you'll kind of understand what butterfly is here in a second. Now over on the left-hand side, you'll see this draw button over here. This is where your pens are. So if I want to use, say, the blue pen, and you can change the colors to whatever you want to, I can come in and I can write. So 12, and I'm not the best at using my mouse right now, but with the Promethean pens, you'd be so much easier. And I can annotate right on it. And again, it's all changes saved, so it's saving as I go. Now, what I really like about Canva is that it is at a moment's notice, I can bring in some manipulatives. So, for example, if I may be using apples as my manipulatives, I can just right-click and duplicate, and duplicate. And then I can just go ahead and annotate right on them. So if I want to show groupings of 2 and 3, and now I've got 2 plus 3. So that's why I like that. And so if a problem, is asking for something specific, I can bring that in. If I want to have my students do this, I want to hand them my iPad, they can do that as well. Again, I'll show you the iPad here in a second. I can also bring in, let's say, a video. So let's say I'm doing something with science. Let me go ahead and get rid of everything that's on my whiteboard. And let's say that I've got a video that I want to bring in. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the automatic playback. And let's go ahead and put this right here. Now, not that a whole lot of people will do this, but I can have my video playing right here. And while it's playing, I can actually model taking notes. I can do it with text if I want to. So here's my text box. I'll go ahead and make that black so we can see it. And so while this is playing, I can say, okay, we're going to be talking about butterflies. Now you know why I titled it butterflies. Of course, spelling it correctly is always nice. And I can show me all the spots that there are butterflies. So they are in the Americas, and so on, and talk about the chrysalis and everything. If I want to draw on top of it, so let's say that I want to make a point about the plant here. Let's say I want to go with yellow. Let me find a really good yellow. There we go. Now I can come in and I can maybe show the cell wall of the plant. And I can do that right on there, even while it's being used. And you can see that stays on there. And if I want to just get rid of it, there we go. So like here are let me go back to that. There are the steps there for a butterfly. I can sit there and go, this is step 1, step 2, and step 3. If I want to change the thickness of that, I can do that here. And then step 4 would be depth. So that's just using it as a glorified whiteboard. I'm going to bring in the iPad now, and I'm going to bring up that same presentation. And so you can see I'm seeing everything that you are. I'm going to make sure in my settings, yeah, I've got dot grid turned off. Here's the dot grid. So notice on my iPad and this one, you can see it on both. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, and I'll do the same on my iPad. There we go. And I can use, so I just have a stylus for my iPad, and I can do the same thing I just did. But here's what I love about this is I can be walking around the classroom, and I can be annotating with my students. So if we are working on that word problem, I can actually take care of it here. Now notice that the video is not in a spot that it should be. I can fast forward that spot so that way I'm right where I need to be. And let me pause that video. There we go. Let me rewind that video. And there we go. Now I can pause it. And so that's in the same spot. But what I like about this is that I can actually draw. So if you notice on the iPad, I'm going to go ahead and draw my little happy face here, and it's going to appear on the whiteboard. So I can do everything that I want to do. The other thing I like about it is I can resize it and move it up. I can do the same on my computer. And then now if I want to, I can go ahead and annotate while I'm walking around the classroom. If you want to give a problem for a student to work on, I can hand off my stylus and the iPad while I'm continuing to walk around, and the student can do the same. So it's a pretty cool little thing that you can do. And what I like about it is that it's saving as it works. And so if I make this just a little bit smaller, you'll see that it's saving all my stuff. I kind of have an infinite amount of space to work with when it comes to my workspace here, my whiteboard. So now that you've seen how this works as a whiteboard, I'm going to go ahead and bring in a presentation. So let me go to the iPad, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in, I've got a grade 4 module 3, I believe, module 3 lesson 4 that I want to take a look at, and how you can annotate on these and how you can interact with it. So as you can see, here I am in the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and present this. Again, if you want to share this so that the students can watch you on their Chromebooks, you can do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and present that there, but I'm going to keep it in editing mode here on my iPad. So I'm in editing mode. So as I'm progressing through my PowerPoint and I get through, you can see I've already annotated a few on here. I can actually write on the presentation. So when I get to, say, here, let me get to the same spot. So I'm at 1810s, and I can have my students work, and then I can say, okay, let's correct it. Let me go to my pen. I'll use blue. This would be 180, and it'll come up on the screen. When I go to show the answer, there's the answer. Next problem, 2810s. We can correct this together and say 280. There's the answer. So you can just keep working through. You can also put in different types of movement. So for example, and that should have been blocking it as we came in, but that's okay. So here we have on your personal whiteboard, write a multiplication sentence to find the area. I can actually move this. Let me turn off my pen here. I can actually move this and I can show the problem up on the screen, very much like Smart. Or if I'm really good, I can just click on it and delete it and it'll take it away. There's my little pin mark that I just made. If I want to annotate on that and say there's 2 centimeters there, there's 2 centimeters here, there is 10 centimeters here. I can do all that notation right on the presentation. So I really like that interaction. And again, you can always share this with your students and they can be watching on their Chromebooks. If you have a student that's absent, you can very easily put this in a Google Classroom. And when they come in the next day, they can access the notes for the day or whatever you guys did in class and use that. So that's how you use Canva as a quote-unquote glorified whiteboard or annotate on a presentation of some kind. If you would like the Canva app, you can get it in the Apple App Store. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.